Hello, and welcome to the Come to Your Senses podcast. I'm your host, embodiment-based coach, Mary Lofgren. Here, we explore how to live bravely and beautifully through a lifestyle of embodiment. You'll hear gems to empower you around mindset, mindfulness, somatic psychology, and neuroscience, as well as beauty, food, style, and the art of slow living to meet your soul through the senses. I am so happy that you're here. Let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Come to Your Senses. Welcome to today's episode, which is all about creating soothing bedtime rituals. I am always so grateful and so moved to hear that when you listen to this podcast, the feedback that I get is that it inspires you to take small, tiny respites in the beautiful and in the sensory and in the slowed down moments of your life. That is really my whole purpose for existing here at Come to Your Senses, is to deliver to you insights and wisdom and treasures that help drop you deeper into the fullness of your being. And a time of day where often the ritual of living goes right on out the window is around bedtime. I speak not only from coaching people on this topic, but from lived experience around this topic. And so today, I am going to share with you a few of my most cherished bedtime rituals to help to lessen the noise and the frenzy of the mind and loosen some of the tension that you may feel in your body and in your emotional network so that your subconscious can relax, your body can feel safe, and you can be eased into a soothing and sumptuous night's sleep. Let's dive in to our gems. This is a quote from E. Joseph Cosman. And E. Joseph Cosman says, "The best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep." And so you might be a person who looks forward to crawling into your flannels and fluffies every single night. Or you might be someone who struggles a bit with that transition from the aliveness and the intensity of our waking hours into the relaxation that's needed to create restful sleep. And wherever you fall on that spectrum, today's gems are going to be useful and relevant to you. As I was creating this episode, I was a little, shall we say, mindful that this might sound like I'm mansplaining you because some of these tools are just really basic, but some of these tools are basic for a reason because they really, really work. And then some of them might be new to you. They were very new to me when I learned them. And so our first gem is about creating a bedtime ritual that works for you. I was once working with a client, and she wanted to have a more traditionally relaxing seeming bedtime ritual. And I said, okay, well, tell me what in your mind's eye that looks like. And she described taking her time as she washed her face and journaling before bed, maybe pulling a tarot card and listening to spa music and all these things. And I said, well, have you done these things? And she said, yes. And I was like, did they help you sleep? And she was like, I never thought of that. And isn't it the truth? There's all these prescriptive ways. And if you're like many of us, you might even feel shame or self-loathing for how unself-carey your bedtime is. But I will say that sometimes the best self-care for me is having my kitchen be a mess, feeling the tug to go to bed, getting in those sheets in the same clothes I wore all day, popping on a British TV show that helps me relax, and sailing on into bedtime. And so this first gem is just to say that bedtime and what is going to relax your system is as unique as your system is itself. And so may these gems help to inspire you, but ultimately deeply, deeply trust your body's knowings and what is needed for you in order to create a soothing bedtime ritual. So our first, being that the name of this podcast is Come to Your Senses, is a sensory ritual. I personally find that bedtime is a way of washing away the day and setting myself up for an experience of relaxation. And so warm water and aroma are some of the most profound ways I can access that spot. For me, taking a rinse at night. I don't wash my hair at night. I don't like to wash my hair at night because then my big mop of hair is all wet and dries weird. But I will step into the shower and I'll turn on a salt lamp in the bathroom and I'll just stand in the water and feel my body. And then my friend Veronica Varlow, who is a teacher of witchcraft and spell casting, she's also a very famous burlesque dancer, taught me about watching the water go down the drain and imagining that everything I want to let go of, everything I want to release back to the earth is just being taken by that water back down to where it belongs. I also find that aroma being one of our quickest access points to emotional shift is a really, really powerful way to drop into the body at nighttime. So I often reference my favorite body oil, which is Sphinx Moth by Kate's Magic. And when I get out of the shower, just smelling that oil, there is a powerful linking method that you can do where, for example, I have this one perfume that I only wear when I go to Italy. And then on the rare occasions where I do wear it at home, I am immediately transported to Tuscany, where I take clients on sensual living retreats. And that's something that you can also do with your everyday products is perhaps after your evening shower, you have a special aroma that's specifically dedicated to this time of relaxation, which is maybe different than the oil or the lotion that you might slap on in the morning when you're trying to get the kids dressed. And what I love about this ritual too is its simplicity. All of the rituals in this podcast particularly uses things like water and breath and a pen and paper, and it's not too fancy. It's not too complicated. So warm water, essential oils, these are a beautiful place to start. Maybe a salt lamp if you want to get fancy. The next ritual is a breath ritual. And this is a ritual that has truly saved my ass on more than one occasion. And it's called the 4-7-8 breath. So I'll invite you to actually do it with me. We're simply going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. If you're not in a place where you can do it, in this moment, you can always come back to this particular part of the playback. But if you are in a place, you might want to take a deep breath to just engage your lungs. And then we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for the purposes of time, I'm going to move on. Normally you would do that for anywhere from 3 to 8 cycles. And the amazing thing about this breath method is that it mimics the body's experience of a sigh. So have you ever climbed into a cozy chair or flopped yourself down on the beach and your body just naturally goes, ah? So the 4-7-8 breath is a way to stimulate that parasympathetic response, that rest and digest response. And I do this when I'm trying to fall asleep at night. I'll do it. I notice that when I'm at the movies, sometimes my anxiety starts to kick up, probably because it is a sudden standstill in the flurry of a day. But this breath ritual, it is one of my secret weapons, and I cannot recommend it enough. So 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And then the final ritual that I want to share with you today has to do with your inner dialogue. So at the end of the day, once again, when the noise outside of us tends to quiet, the noise inside can become louder and more alive. And usually, unless there's been a slow, deliberate relaxation or something that helps that tension release, those little tense bunnies can look like demented demons coming to get you. And really, it's just one of the body and the mind's way of expressing and processing the flurry of activity of the day. And so there's 2 things I want to share with you here as a way to align your psyche with the more loving, compassionate, understanding, abundant, oriented voice, as opposed to the voice that maybe is telling you all the things that you should have done or that you haven't done, or all the reasons why you suck, etc., etc. So the first is called two-way prayer. And two-way prayer is where you write on a page a question, and then you write back to yourself from spirit, your higher self, whatever you orient to as the divine or a power greater than yourself. And the kicker, the important part here, is that you address yourself using a term of endearment. So when I do these letters, I like to be really, really honest with the God of my understanding and say, "Dear God, I'm hurting. Help." There have been many times where I've done this exercise and, "Dear God," I have a relationship to the God of my childhood that's very people-pleasy and is just trying to be God's favorite Girl Scout. And the most meaningful connections I've had with this divine intelligence have come when I say, "Dear God, why are you so effing annoying and vague?" And then God will write back to me, "Dearest Mary, beloved Mary, dear one." And usually what I just love about this practice is that the God of my understanding doesn't turn away from those parts of me and doesn't kick me out of the Garden of Eden because I've been disrespectful. The God of my understanding actually says, "Yes, Give me more of this. All I ever want from you is for you to be real with me. I'm not someone you have to be nice to and manipulate in order to get your needs met. And does that take the pressure off? And usually there's some nugget of transcendent wisdom that comes through in my writing that helps my body find peace. Another way of connecting with an inner voice that you love to listen to is to think of some figure or celebrity or character that you feel like vibrates with compassion, understanding, empathy, softness, and somebody whose lap you might like to just cuddle up in. So for me, that's Fraulein Maria from Sound of Music, played by Julie Andrews. And sometimes at night, as I'm going through my day and recounting my day, I might ask myself, well, what would Fraulein Maria tell me about my day today? What would she have told me I did well? What is she proud of me for? What would she tell me to do tomorrow? How might she encourage me to bring more play and fun into my life? And it kind of gives those demon-like voices that are circling my mind like hungry wolves. It's like it plays this beautiful music for them to be slowly hypnotized by and go to sleep. Julie Andrews for the win, everybody. She's my hero. So that rounds out our gems for soothing bedtime rituals. I hope that this has been helpful to inspire you to take just even the tiniest moment of presence and pleasure in how you go about your evening. And one last resource that I wanted to offer is if you struggle with insomnia, as I have for many years in the past, a great resource is Martin Reed, who has a podcast and some programs and individual coaching at insomniacoach.com. I haven't worked with Martin personally, but I know people who have, and I've listened to his podcasts and subscribed to his emails, and some of his methods and techniques have really, really impacted the way that I feel about sleep and the way that I treat sleep. So insomniacoach.com, check him out. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you in a review or see your subscription or 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast. Your reviews mean so, so much to me and so, so much to our ability to grow our listenership and have this podcast reach more people. So thank you for your support in that regard. And thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. For coaching, classes, and community in creating a lifestyle of embodiment, head to schoolofsensualliving.com. There you'll find a free video series on how to reduce anxiety and intercept the stress response through powerful, confident body language. Head to schoolofsensualliving.com/confidence to watch your first video